Hi class, I'm going to make a little video right now about constants and casting in Java. And when I do the videos, I'll also throw in a few hints about eclipse when using it. So if you look here, you can see I created a scanner object, but it's underlined in red. If you simply hang your mouse over that, let me just hang your mouse over there, it gives me the suggestion to import scanner. So that's really convenient, so I don't have to always type it. So yeah, so just create it and then hang your mouse over and it will import it for you. Now, I've mentioned this before. If it's underlined in yellow, it means it's a warning. So your code will run, but warnings don't look good either. And since we've opened the scanner, to be complete at the end of your program, you'd want to close it. So it just sort of closes the channel between the program and the keyboard. So that's done. So now, here I'm asking a user for a price of something. I'm getting the price. I'm calculating the HST on it. And then I'm going to calculate the total. And then I might output it, right? So again, short form, syso, control space. I may say subtotal. Let's say /T for a tab, a $sign. And then I put in here, let's say the price. And then the next line, syso, control space, taxes, plus tax, get rid of one of the brackets. And then, oh, because I have an X, that's why it did two. It's like, why do I have two brackets? I started typing this, I might as well just finish it. Print line, total, /T, $sign, quote, total. And I missed the /T here. It might not be enough. We'll see. So I'm missing the semicolon. So I go to run this. Enter the price of the item you purchased. So let's say it's $9. Subtotal $9. Tax is $117. So you can see the spacing's off a little bit. So I could add some spaces here, literal spaces. Run it again, see if you like the way it looks. So what happens now? Let's say you have a program that has a lot of questions and you're calculating the tax a lot. And then next thing you know, the government goes and changes the tax rate. You would have to go through your entire program, find all occurrences of those where you used this 0.13 and change it. What's a better practice is to use what's called a constant. So constant in Java starts with the word final. And if it's final, that implies you can't change it. And then the rest is the same. You have your data type. So in this case, HST is a double. So I would say double. And by convention, constants are all capitals. So HST equals, and then what it is, 0.13. So then everywhere you're using the HST in your code, you simply replace it with that constant name. And then your code looks easier to read. So it's not like somebody's going to look at your code and go, what's 0.83? What's 0.83? 0.13. They can see HST. And if they're from Canada, they know that's the harmonized sales tax. So harmonized sales tax rate as a decimal. And that is your introduction to constants. So really, you don't want what we call magic numbers in your code. You would want to define a constant to replace that. So when casting, it could be that sometimes we get an input as an integer, but then we want to treat it as a double. So for example, if I did something like, let's say I asked the user to enter a number. System.out.println. I'd say enter 2 numbers. And I'm going to average them. And I'm going to assume they're inputting an int. So I say int, let's say num1 equals input dot next int n2 equals input dot next int. Oops. And then I say double the average is going to be using bedmass n1 plus n2 divided by 2. You're like, that should be fine. So I go and I run, and then I'm going to output it. So the average is, and then I output the contents of that variable. So I run this. I have to put the price in, let's say $10, and then enter 2 numbers. So if I put in, let's say 5 and 8, and it outputs 6, but I know that their average is 6.5. So it didn't actually calculate it properly. So there are a couple fixes you can do, and one of them is something called casting. So the way we cast is we know that these are both ints. So what I could do is this n1, if I cast it as a double, then it's going to do double division. So we have done a short lesson on integer division, but this double division will then give us the decimal. So I run it again. I'll put in the 10 again. And then if I put in 5 and 8, the same 2 numbers, now it's outputting 6.5. So this cast ensured that it was a double that I was dealing with. And that's it for now.